So the day has finally arrived. You've passed your theory test, you've got your learner's permit in the post, and you're ready to get driving. Well, stay tuned with me, Derek, because I'm going to give you some of the tips that I've picked up throughout my 12 years as a driving instructor on how best to prepare yourself for your first ever driving lesson. Step number 1, relax. It's okay, we've got you covered. As an approved driving instructor, we go through rigorous testing to make sure that we're up to the challenge of teaching you how to drive. One of the things that really takes in order to be a good driving instructor is patience and good reaction to hazard. So just bear in mind that when you're coming to your first driving lesson, you're coming first of all to an approved driving instructor, somebody who's qualified to do this and does this every day for a living. The second thing to say to you is you're coming to a controlled environment, because within this car I've got dual controls, clutch and brake set up over there on the left hand side in front of me. So the onus is on me, and it's my responsibility to make sure that as you're learning to drive and driving about in various different situations, it's up to me to make sure that everything around us is safe. And if I see something for a second that I feel isn't safe, then I'm going to jump in, clutch and brake and stop the car. So that being said, that should give you some sort of reassurance in the knowledge that if something should go wrong, in the unlikely event that something should go wrong within your driving license, the driving instructor will be able to jump in and stop the car if necessary. Alright, the next thing I'd say to you is get a good night's sleep the night before. The amount of people that have come in to me and said, oh my God, I was up all night, I was worried, sick, I didn't know what to do. Geez, I've been dreading this for months, I was actually going to cancel it, I don't know, I might even just not drive ever. No, don't do that. Don't do that at all. The amount of freedom that driving gives you is fantastic. You can hop into a car, drive off somewhere once you learn how to drive, and it's like anything. Repetition is the key. If you keep coming back and practicing and back and practicing, it will get better over time. So, rest the night before, get yourself nice and relaxed, and make sure that you've got plenty of water and stuff like that, and then get yourself in there and meet up with the driving instructor. The next thing to say to you is you'll be surprised at how little driving you'll do on your first driving lesson. In actual fact, where you'll probably spend most of your time is where I'm sitting right now in the driving seat, but what you'll actually be doing is getting yourself familiar with all the different controls of the car. Steering wheel, gear stick, handbrake. I forgot what the gear stick was for a second. That's a good driving instructor right there. All the controls down there at your feet, accelerator, brake and clutch, all that kind of stuff. You're just going to get yourself familiar with all that. The most important thing when it comes to driving is that you've got a good foundation, that you understand what everything does, why it does it, and how it does it. Because once you get that into your head, that will just make the whole driving experience an awful lot easier. Okay? So don't be surprised if you come along to your first driving lesson and you leave your first driving lesson saying to yourself, that wasn't even like a drive. I wasn't driving in that driving lesson, so was it a driving lesson? Believe me, you will be really thankful for that when it comes to the third and fourth and fifth lesson, when you understand why you're doing what you're doing. Next tip I have for you is don't be afraid to ask questions. In this car, there is literally no such thing as a stupid question. Somebody once said to me actually that the only stupid question is the question not asked. Alright? So if you've got a question, you might have a burning question and you're thinking, oh, I wonder should I ask him? Oh, am I the only one to ever ask this question? He's going to think I'm so stupid. Not at all. That's not the case. Chances are whatever question is in your head in your first driving lesson, I've probably answered that question 10 or 15 times already that week. So that's fine. Just roll with it. If in the meantime, between lessons, you come up with a question and you think, oh, I must ask the driving instructor that question, that's fine. Write it down, preferably on the back of your logbook that you'll get when you start your 12 driving lessons. Write it down there, and then just remind yourself then to ask the driving instructor when you get to your next lesson. My next tip for you, and the final tip, is don't be so worried. Most people come into me and they say, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, they'll just spend their whole hour apologizing to me for all the mistakes that they think that they're making. You're probably not as bad as you're making yourself out to be, or as you think that you actually are. A lot of people are here and they're driving and, oh, I'm so sorry, I've stalled the car, or I'm sorry, I've knocked it out of gear, or, no, don't be like that at all. Like I said, as an approved driving instructor, we've seen it all before. The most important thing is you learn at your own pace. If you're not making mistakes, you're not making progress. So you're going to have to make a couple of mistakes here and there, okay? And yeah, driving comes a little bit more natural to some people than it does to others. But if you stick with it, regular practice, regular lessons, it will get better. Thanks very much for tuning into my video. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. I am going to try my best to upload as many videos as I can, as often as I can. Safe driving.